What is up, every creature? It's me, Faith from Moliminous, back with another quality and original concept video of a top 10. Sorry, Watch Pony, nothing personnel, kid, but I'm gonna have to take my crown back. You thought because I hadn't uploaded one for a month, you were in the clear, you thought it was done. Listen, just like how I haven't uploaded a Steven Universe video in 5 months, that doesn't mean they're done. I swear to God, I will get back to them. I swear. Holy shit, I haven't done one in 5 months. I didn't actually mean to take like a month break from this series, but I just didn't really feel like doing anything. I know that sounds bad, but I just didn't feel like doing it, and so I didn't. I'm back, and this time we're not really doing just ponies. In fact, ponies, I'm sorry to say, aren't on this list, because right now we're doing the top 10 forgotten gems of cartoons, or something like that. You know, I usually come up with the title after I make it, so yeah. But before we get into that, a horrible segue for our sponsors. As kids, you loved coloring. It was soothing, it was fun, it was a distraction from the fact that your father's been out at the store for the past 4 months and hasn't returned. But for some reason, as an adult, it's frowned upon, whereas eating Tide Pods isn't. Well, not anymore. A great app on iOS and Android with over 70,000 ratings makes coloring easily accessible for adults again. With an extensive color array to choose from, over 1,000 pictures you can paint, so Sally from the Liberal Arts College can stop chaining herself to trees and go take a bath, cause we're not wasting paper here. It's all digital. What's that I hear? Can it draw your OC? Of course it can. All you have to do is go ahead and sketch it out and take a picture of it. Go ahead, click the links in the description for iOS or Android and download the app today. Alright, so for this list, pretty much for it to be on here, it's going to have been really loved while it was out, and then just kind of never talked about again after it had its traditional 2-year run, which seems to be the status quo. You get 2 seasons, and no matter how much people like it, you're gone. Doesn't matter. You won how many awards? Well, it's cheaper to get rid of you. Number 10, Class of 3000. So if you're like me and you're a babble, you never knew who Andre 3000 was, or you probably just maybe heard of his songs and you didn't actually know who he was. But for some reason, Cartoon Network decided, hey, let's give this rapper slash R&B artist slash just general musician his own cartoon show, in which he's a teacher, and he's teaching all the kids how to play their instrument. I mean, really, it sounds dumb. It was dumb. But damn, did they have some good songs. In fact, this was back when they were pushing their website like super heavy, and you could go on and you could listen to some of their music and stuff like that on their website. Actually, the website was probably the first time I ever really watched shows online. Kind of like Mary or Hikaru no Go, Prince of Tennis. Holy shit. Cartoon Network is the reason why I'm a weeaboo. Regardless, they had some interesting songs and concepts, and the animation style for a lot of the music videos varied heavily, which was something that we didn't see a lot back then. There was a lot of people who were like, yes, this show is the please, Ma. And Cartoon Network said, do you know how much Andre 3000 costs? We can't afford this. Honestly, I wish it kept going. But even though everyone loved it, no one really talks about it. I've never heard Andre 3000 mention the show, and I've never heard anyone really reference any of the songs. If I ever make a quote from one of the songs or try to bring it up, people just kind of look at me like I'm crazy or something. Some sort of Mandela effect, like I'm the only one that learned about Class of 3000, and everyone else in this universe they're just like, literally who? Number 9, Kim Possible. Alright, so maybe forgotten isn't the best word for this show. I mean, it's still talked about, kind of, mainly by a certain blue horse that for some reason has this weird lesbian crush on Kim Possible, but other than that, I don't really see anyone really talk about it. Like, if I go up to someone and I'm like, hey, remember Kim Possible? And they'll be like, yeah. And then we'll go back to doing whatever we were doing. Like, maybe it's just because of the sheer amount of waifu bait. Regardless, I didn't get enough of my waifu Shigo, and so I kind of wanted the show to keep on going. And the reason why I got caught is pretty much the darndest thing you've ever heard. The show was at its high point. It had Smash Mouth, which at the time was cool. It was really well regarded, won awards, everyone loved it. But the Disney Channel, they decided, well, we have enough episodes to keep it in syndication, which means we can just run old episodes and make money off of it. So, why are we putting effort into it? Everyone's fired. Get out. Number 8, Robot Boy. So you guys know Astro Boy, right? Well, imagine that, but it wasn't made by weebs, and it was made in America. But they wanted you to think it was made by weebs, and so they turned it into a show. That's Robot Boy. He talks with this probably borderline racist, like, Asian accent. I'm pretty sure people would find it highly problematic today, but Robot Boy was the shit back then. He had all kinds of awesome weapons and stuff. He had this transformation mode where he would transform into this really badass robot. The show, I think, only had 1 season, maybe 2. It actually started progressing, like it introduced a robot girl that was in there. I mean, I'm not sure if that was necessarily good, but it was new, it was progression. They had him get new powers, stuff like that, and then it just kind of ended. And despite people actually enjoying it, when's the last time you heard someone mention Robot Boy outside of this video? It's probably been a while. I talked to a bunch of nerds. Like, they're all a bunch of nerds. And no one's ever actually brought up Robot Boy. And all the discussions that we've had about cartoons, TV shows. Never. Not even once. Number 7, Symbionic Titan. This one's kind of newer. It was part of the revival of Cartoon Network. Shows like Symbionic Titan, Generator Rex, Secret Saturdays, all those shows. They wanted to make it more actiony. They wanted to pretty much capture Toonami, but on a Western feel. So instead of anime, they would have edgy cartoons. It would all be ones that they produced, so they owned all the rights and licenses to it. So no one else besides them were getting paid. Now, Symbionic Titan was definitely the best of the shows that spawned out of this, but it never really took off. I think there were some people who were interested in it, but at the time, I guess mecha really wasn't popular. You're really taking something that's niche, that's in the Japanosphere, and you're bringing it to a Western audience without Westernifying it. It pretty much ran just like Power Rangers, but a kind of high school drama version. I guess it was popular, but not popular enough, and they decided to cut their loss because, well, animation is expensive. When you're doing giant, complex mecha stuff, that's a lot to draw. Number 6, Challenge Showdown. Come on, you guys gotta remember this one, but none of you are talking about it. I think we had a brief period where it was a possibility that we might, in fact, get a revival of it, but we never did, to my knowledge. It actually had great progression. It had twists and turns that I was never expecting. This is how good it was. I woke up early on a Saturday to watch this show. Granted, that only lasted for a while until I realized, you know, even though I don't have the internet, and I don't know you can just look up stuff online, I'm just gonna sleep in. And hope that I somehow figure out what happens in this series, because 9 a.m. is a bitch to wake up at. I didn't even know what I was doing. Like, I didn't have the internet. I wasn't playing online. I just would stay up, staring at the wall, counting my same 20 Yu-Gi-Oh cards over and over. Number 5, Get Ed. So this is a Disney XD one. Lasted for a little while, but no one really took the bid. It also had, strangely enough, and I'm starting to see a pattern here, a really detailed and kind of in-depth storyline, if I'm remembering correctly. Of course, it might just be my rose-tinted glasses telling me everything was better back in my day, but Get Ed was one of the few 3D animated shows that I was like, hey, that's pretty good. I actually want to see more. Pretty much focused around, this is also the thing, it focused around the most boring, probably, topic you could ever have, their delivery drivers. But they all drive weird futuristic gear like a hoverboard and hover skates, hover scooters. It's pretty much like Sonic Riders if the only goal in Sonic Riders was to deliver mail. You're pretty much a FedEx driver. Number 4, Flapjack. I see so many people actually, like, other cartoon channels, whatever you want to call them, bring up Flapjack, praise it for the amazing cartoon that it is. But if it's not for them, no one else is talking about it. Like, how do we love this show so much and yet no one's really doing anything about it? Flapjack had a short run, but people loved it. And for some reason it was canceled. And no one's really making a fuss. I'm sure there was an online petition or something, but it's not one that you really bring up. It was huge, but even then, it's not a casual conversation that you have while you're talking about other cartoons. It's usually beat out by shows like Chowder, and while I will admit I enjoyed Chowder a lot more, Flapjack was still a really close second. Number 3, Hi AmiYumi Go. I actually don't think the Go is part of the name, but I remember it's Hi AmiYumi Go. Anything, it's possible. I have no idea why this became a show. I've no literal clue. It's essentially 2 Japanese pop stars. I don't think they were popular in the West. I think the only thing they were known for in the West was singing the Teen Titans theme song. But that was it. I don't even think they voiced the characters. I'm pretty sure they didn't. But it followed the route of 2 pop stars. Rock stars? I don't know. They're both there. They're both on tour. They have a quirky manager. It's done in this weird Western Japanese imitation art style. And it was fun. It was great. It was goofy. It was like a cartoon's supposed to be. We're f***ing kids. We don't give a shit. Number 2, Shizou. So it's kind of like a trap anime, except it's not a trap anime. In fact, the cross-dressing is, I don't know what it's supposed to be there for, but yeah, you just gotta pretend to be a girl, I guess. Because apparently these superpowers, they pass down from person to person, but it's only ever chose females. So everything with the superhero is female themed. The cars, the weaponry, the outfit, etc. And all that gets passed down to a boy. And now he's Shizou. Now he has to fight Evo and platform heels. Look, this could have been really great if it had the time to become great. And if the network had the balls. There doesn't have to be some sort of overarching trans or social commentary here. It's just a guy who's in a girly outfit. Number 1, Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go. One of the longest titles I've ever seen on a cartoon. It was actually made by Disney. I think it was still Disney XD at the time, or maybe it was Jetix. It might have been Jetix actually then. Disney has gone through quite a few name changes. But regardless, it was a pretty great show. It took a lot of anime themes and it put it into a Western style that was mimicking Japanese style. So again, it's one of those. But the actual context of the show seemed pretty great. There was some actual interesting dialogue, some story that went on. It's like a post-apocalyptic future, but everything's kind of been rebuilt, it looks like. It looks like they have a huge city. You don't really ever see them go out of the city, but regardless, it was a super great show. Everyone loved it, and then it got dropped and no one really mentioned it, to the point where it became a really huge thing that someone had remastered all the episodes to be HD, and they're up on YouTube. Like, for some reason, Disney doesn't even want to acknowledge its existence. Like, they don't mention it, like, to the point where they're not taking down these HD remasters. They're not turned or flipped or edited. They're just literally HD remasters of the show, completed, uploaded. Disney doesn't give a f***. They will not take ownership. It's like they had a child and they've disowned the child. They want nothing to do with it. Anyways, that's my list. Let me know if I've missed some stuff. I've actually purposely left off some stuff here because I've mentioned it in other top 10s and I didn't want to reuse the same stuff. Come on, that'd be dumb. Who does that? Anyways, guys, I've been Faith or Moliminous. I love your faces, so I hope you at least like my video. And I think I'm gonna do something new here. I'm gonna go ahead and give a shout out to all my patrons, because you guys don't deserve just to be put into the little description. You guys deserve some verbal shout outs. So, yeah, so we got Azaer, Anthony. I'm just gonna say your first name because it looks like your full name. Anthony over here. Sims Buddy 19. Leszek Wykowski. I think that's a YouTube CEO. Artem Mushtava. Going up a little bit here. We have our secondary tier. Peter Keogh-Lynn. michaelpaquin. Cousin Larry. The Demon Fox, who did the background to my channel. TWT. Another super long-term patron. And we're going back up. Another tier. Oswald. The highest tier. Joshua McDonald. You all help make these videos possible. I actually do use this money responsibly. I assure you. They go straight to adult things. Thank you. If you guys want to be on the Hall of Fame, just go ahead and click that Patreon link. Or subscribe or like the video and comment. I'll see you guys in the next one.